Yo, what is going on, guys? So, sort of made a bit of a mistake. I know I like to update this yearly, the top 5 best champs each year. I do this usually typically every summer. It usually lines up like when I go on holidays, so I can have scheduled uploads while I'm gone. This year some plans fell through, didn't end up going really on holidays, but I still started making them. We did 4 out of the 6 classes, but we didn't do Cosmic or Skill yet. So, and I kind of forgot about it, but I was also just really preoccupied with so many other things, some real life, but mainly in games. There's just so much other stuff to talk about. Battlegrounds came out, Act 8's coming out. The whole future of the game, 7 stars, Ascension, Relics, like so much all at once, man. It's been a crazy month. But now I finally want to and am able to make this video. And the really crazy thing is that, if I would have made this same video a month ago, it would have been vastly different. So, yeah, let's get into it. Before we get into the actual top 5 itself, I want to give a special shout out to Hyperion. So Hyperion is going to be excluded from this video, and he is just going to get his own special shout out. Why am I doing that? Well, he's a little harder to rank than the other 5 champions because, he's a little bit based on RNG, on his heavy attacks, the amount of furies you get, and also on your special one, the I-beams. It's all chance based on, how many furies or incinerates you get, and that greatly changes, how good he performs. But the thing is that this guy is a relic. Hyperion here is a relic of the past. This dude came out in December of 2016. I started playing in October of 2016, and I'm an old fossil in this game. So, like, me and Hyperion have both been here for a long time, and the fact that he is still as relevant, I feel like he's more relevant than he is today than when he first came out. Way more so. Like, he has aged like a fine wine, and that's why he gets special exclusion and just a special shout out. So Hyperion is special, he gets special treatment. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the top 5 list. So, coming in at the number 5 spot, we have my boy Knull, the King in Black, King of Darkness. This guy is crazy. I remember the first time I heard about Knull, like him in the comics, and I was like, would be so sick in MCOC, and then we got him, and at first I feel like people were a little underwhelmed. I was too, like, at first glance. Then I played him and I was just astonished by how good this guy was. His damage, his power type control, he can counter evade, his regen is my favorite aspect about Knull. I love it so much. Yeah, but he comes in at number 5. Some people might think Knull's better than that. And honestly, guys, like, this top 5 list, all these champions are so close. Like, they're all so good. I would recommend rank 4ing any single one of these custom champions. Even rank 5ing any single one of them. Well, except one maybe. But, yeah, man, Knull is crazy good. I do think he is kind of the weakest on this. Like I said, it's super close, but the real reason why for me Knull is in the number 5 spot is because of how reliant he is on being not only awakened but also being high sig. Like, when you rank up Knull, you want him to be high sig. It makes him way better for short fights, and it makes him way better for long fights too, but primarily those short fights. When I rank up Knull, I want to be able to give him a lot of sigs. So that's really the limiting factor on Knull, I would say, for me. And that's why he makes it at the number 5 spot on this list. Now, coming in at the number 4 spot, this might surprise a lot of people. And it surprises me, to be honest, Cosmic Ghost Rider. Like I said, if I had made this video a month ago, Cosmic Ghost Rider would have been in the number 2 spot. But things have changed. The game is constantly changing and evolving, and I think, over time, Cosmic Ghost Rider has fallen off a bit. If this video was about the most badass Cosmic or just champs in the game, Cosmic Ghost Rider would be number 1. If this video was about the top 5 best Cosmic damage dealers, Cosmic Ghost Rider would be number 1. Easily. Badassery and damage, this guy's king. For sure. I love this guy so much, dude. One of my favorite champs, especially aesthetically. I think he just looks so freaking good, man. Best looking champ in the game. And there's Guardian exists. So that's a really high praise. Like, I really love Cosmic Ghost Rider. The problem is that his cycles, his loops, they're very easy for Kabam to counter with nodes. So he's very easily countered. And, you know, he just doesn't have nearly as much utility as a lot of the other champs on this list. Even Knull. Knull has a lot more utility than Cosmic Ghost Rider, I'd say. Cosmic Ghost Rider does have absurd damage. That's what gets me that number 4 spot, and his badassery. I really do love Cosmic Ghost Rider. He hasn't been going down. It's just that other champions have been going up, and the game has kind of been shifting to a more where, you know, damage is great, but a lot of champions have really good damage plus really, really good utility. So it's just hard to keep up when, you know, your damage stat is maxed, but your utility stat is not as high. You know, that's the problem with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Also, he's so good with damage that he doesn't even need a higher rank, which is really good. You know, like, my Cosmic Ghost Rider is probably going to stay rank 3 for a long time, even when, you know, once we have rank 5s. I'm in no rush to take him up because he hits so freaking hard. Even at rank 3, he's still going to be relevant once we have rank 5, 6 stars. Like, that's just how good Cosmic Ghost Rider's damage is. So, yeah, but I put him at number 4. Because, again, it's a matter of utility. And like I said, every champ on this list, it's so close, guys. Please keep that in mind. So that's Cosmic Ghost Rider at the number 4 spot. Coming in at the number 3 spot, man, we have Hulkling. So, Hulkling was, I think, no, not the first Cosmic champ this year. Gore was, I think. Gore, disappointment, big disappointment. I really hope he's the first champ to get rebalanced, and it becomes better. Really hope so, because compared to the other Cosmic champs released this year, he is just so subpar. It's insane. Because we have Hulkling here, man. You know, Knull's the king of black. Hulkling's the king of space, and it tracks that sword. That's the Excelsior sword, man. That sword, it's a powerful sword. It grants him so many immunities. Hulkling has. He has immunity to poison, to shock, debuffs, passives, the whole shebang. He's immune to, with his sword, that Excelsior sword, immune to power manipulation. Most of it. He's immune to power drain, steal, burn. He's only not immune to power lock and special lock, really, when it comes to those power immunities. And Hulkling is just incredible. He gains just a plethora of different types of buffs. When you get hit, he gets regen buffs. So, and it's really nice. Like, even in like Battlegrounds, Alliance War, mistakes happen. I get hit. That regen really, really comes in handy. And if you get hit too much, you even go indestructible. And that indestructible can't even be nullified. It can be, but if it gets nullified, it just turns into a passive effect. It's crazy. Same with his unblockable buff. And with that unblockable, also pierce buffs. Pierce buffs do absurd block damage. Like, you can take down Penny's Sync Shield in less than a 5-hit combo. You also have Aptitude, and then you get Fat Furies on your special 2, and if you're unblockable, you get double the amount of Furies, plus all that Aptitude, plus you get attack for every buff on you, plus when you parry, your block proficiency goes up with Bulwark, and you give this guy the Odin pre-fights. That's 3 additional buffs, that's more attack. Like, it is absurd. Hulkling, man. He is so crazy stacked. He's so good, man. And on top of all of that, he is just a monster on defense if you don't have the right counter. If you don't have someone to prevent him from triggering his buffs, or someone to mainly prevent him from triggering his buffs. Because if he can trigger his buffs, even like Dr. Doom is not like a perfect counter against this guy. It's not. I don't like it. You really want to be using either a champion that will prevent him from activating buffs, so like lowering ability accuracy, or like a neutralize that can prevent the buff from even, you know, appearing. So, like, Hulkling, man, such a stacked champ, so much in his kit. It's It's crazy. It is really crazy, and I noticed this so early with him. I wanted him so bad. The second I pulled him out of that 6-star feature pool, he was my most wanted pull. Took him right to rank 4, man. I didn't even play at Hulkling at rank 1, 2, or 3 on like my actual account. I've only ever played him at rank 4 because I knew he was that good. The second I got him, boom, rank 4, and he has not let me down. He has only surpassed my already extremely high expectations that I had on him, and yeah, I really think Hulkling has a extremely prominent future in MCOC, and I feel very confident investing in this guy long term. Cannot say enough good things about Hulkling. But there is another champion released this year that I think is ever so slightly superior, and that is Galan. Now, Hulkling and Galan are so close, they're very similar, that I put in more time into a video, any video I've ever made. It took like 3 days of really working on one. I've never spent 3 days really working on a video. Like that is, I put in so many hours in that video, trying to make it good. And it didn't even get that many views, which kind of feels bad. But you guys should check it out if you want more of a Galan versus Hulkling comparison. I'll leave a link in the description. Like I said, a lot of time went into that. So if you're curious more about the Galan Hulkling comparison, definitely check that out. But dude, Galan, I just said so many good things about Hulkling, and yet I put Galan above him. Why? Because dude, he's freaking Galactus. He's a peaceful farmer Galactus. Instead of, going out devouring planets, he grows his own planets and eats them. But he's still he's still just as powerful, man. It is insane how good this guy is. People are saying he's going to be rebalanced because he seems to be that good. I really don't think he's going to get rebalanced because, again, he's freaking Galactus, dude. He is supposed to be powerful. He has a star and he's holding a star and a planet in one hand. Like, of course he's going to be really good. He should be, and he is. I think Galan's perfect. I don't think Kabam's going to touch him. I literally think he's perfect. The crazy thing about Galan is when you see this nutty damage and crazy fights in like Alliance War and Battlegrounds, in almost all those scenarios, there's an armor buff present, or something triggering his signature ability here, and Galan's signature ability is huge, which is whenever his immunity prevents power drain, burn, lock, or a special lock effect from a non-mystic via immunity, he gains 3. My Galan will gain 3 of each of the buffs, the physical resistance and energy resistance, which just juice up your planetary mass so fast. It ramps you so fast, and then boom, you drop the damage. And so people see those and they're like, oh, he's so crazy, he's gonna get rebalanced. But outside of those crazy matchups, it's not nearly like that. It takes a lot more time to build him up, get that damage off, which I think is perfect. I think that's why he is balanced, because he's really, really good in his right matchups and still solid, in most matchups. I think Galan's really balanced, and I think the thing that puts him above Knull, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Hulkling is that those champions have slightly higher damage than Galan, I would say. Galan's utility is far superior than all 3 of them, in my opinion. Having played with all these Cosmic Champs, using them on a regular basis. I don't use Knull too often anymore, but Hulkling, Cosmic Ghost Rider, I use those. I've put in so much time into those champions, especially Cosmic Ghost Rider. I got Mythic because of Cosmic Ghost Rider. But dude, Galan is just a utility machine. He has similar immunities to Hulkling, but I think Galan's are superior because with his power immunities, he also is immune to Power Lock and Special Lock. And it seems like Kabam are pushing Special Lock way more now. For prime example, the new Iron Doom has Special Lock. Galan's going to be immune to that. In Alliance War, Path 3, this whole lane has, if the opponent has an armor buff and you hit them, you get a Special Locked, which is literally the most perfect scenario possible for Galan. And it just seems that Kabam is, the way the game is going, the way it's being steered by the Kabam ship, it just seems like it's meant for Galan. And his utility, I feel like it's only going to get better. Plus, Galan, on top of everything else, he's kind of like Apocalypse in the fact that he can empower the entire cosmic class with his seeds. So he can go ahead and drop his seed, and he can make heralds. So with just applying the herald to a champion is going to go ahead and make them a viable... Oh, sorry guys, just hit my mic. I was going to make any cosmic champ a viable Penny Parker counter because it grants power burn immunity, or it reduces power burn effects by 100%, which is basically immunity. So any champion, cosmic champion that becomes a herald, can automatically fight Penny Parker, the best tech defender in the game. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. And then the more victories that you have as a herald, you gain more stuff. So you can gain resistance to damaging debuffs, 7% for each win, and I believe that caps out at 5. So you can get 35% resistance to all damaging debuffs, which is pretty crazy. Plus, Galan builds up energy resistance too. So, that wouldn't matter on Galan because he can't become a herald. But yeah, for other champs like Hercules and Knull that have these already some sort of base immunities to bleed and poison, I believe Knull also has some to degen. So when you make champions like these heralds, it only increases those percent. So yeah, Knull is 60% resistance already, and you can add 5 times 7 is 35. So you can get up to 95% bleed and poison resistance with Knull after you win 5 fights. Like, that is crazy. His regen's already so good. And again, this is going to be applied to every single cosmic champion in the game. So it's really cool. And I love Galan so much, guys. I really do. Ike is just absolutely incredible, and the second best cosmic in the game. And of course, the number 1 best cosmic in the game, as we all know, is Hercules. Not a whole lot to be said about Hercules. We all know it. He's arguably one of the best champs in the entire game. I wouldn't exactly say that, but I definitely think he's top 2. I think him and Kitty right now are top 2 best champs in the game. They both can just do so much. Hercules, the main thing about both of them, and it's interesting because, Kabam John on an interview said that if the balancing program was active last year, Hercules and Kitty Pryde would have been rebalanced. And, people hear that and they think, oh god, Galan's going to get rebalanced. Galan's crazy. Watching this video, you might think that, like, Galan at the number 2 spot, only below Hercules, like, now he's probably going to get rebalanced. But, like, the reason Hercules and Kitty would be rebalanced, it has nothing to do with what Galan can do. All 3 of those champions have great damage, have great utility, but Kitty and Hercules have something very different than Galan, in the fact that they have cheating death or avoiding damage abilities that are just absurd and broken. Galan doesn't have that, so I really don't see the need for Galan to be rebalanced. That's the main reason, because the reason for rebalancing Hercules and Kitty Pryde, Hercules' awakened ability is one of the most busted things in the entire game. The fact that you can pause it with specials and elongate it when hitting, it's just crazy. You can just blitz through so much content, and so many people do. Kabam has the stats. I remember, I've heard about this, like, the amount of people that use Hercules, and it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy what he can do. And, Kitty, the same thing. Her phase is essentially an indestructible if she's awakened. And you can stay in, if you become a Kitty master and you have the Tiger synergy, you can keep phase uptime for 90% plus of fights. So for 90% of fights, you're just indestructible. And, Hercules can't die, and he can just keep living at 1%. That's what makes these champions so absurd, and warrant of a rebalance. Galan, on the other hand, he doesn't have any crazy ways to stay alive, cheat death, avoid damage. He goes unstoppable, he regens, he does good damage against armor opponents, or when, he can take advantage of his immunities. So, yeah, this video is turning into a rebalancing video instead of a top 5 Cosmic Champ video, but like I said, we all know why Hercules is who he is. His damage is absurd. I think my favorite thing about Hercules' damage is that, it's very controllable. He has a low base crit rate. So, for example, we have a flow meta coming up in Battlegrounds. Hercules is still going to be actually pretty decent for that because his base crit rate is low, but it's super easy to get his crit rate really high if you just use a special one. So it's customizable. And plus, when you build up his feats of strength, you know, you're getting that extra damage in red, which again is just so nice. That damage just builds up like crazy, and you basically are able to more than double your base damage output through those feats of strength. And then you get crits, then you get cruelties on the special too, so you get even bigger crits, and you just have a good time. And if you die, well, you're immortal, so you're good. It's just crazy. I love Hercules, I really do. Is he a little too busted? I think he's fine. Not like Command can do anything about it now anyways, so we can keep enjoying our Hercules. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this guy as a herald once incursions get buffed. Really looking forward to that. That's where he'll really shine. That's going to do it for this video, guys. That's my top 5 Cosmic Champions in the game. That's how I look at it now. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You think Cosmic Ghost Rider should be higher? Like I said, a month ago, I would have had him at number 2. But things change. I've really, really fallen in love with my rank 4 Hulkling and Galan. And, yeah. That's going to do it for this video. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Let me know if you agree, disagree in the comment section. Just be nice about it. That's going to do it. Peace out.